The first red flag wasn't the meeting invite titled Strategic Workforce Optimization Mandatory Attendance. It was the fact they scheduled it for 4:17 p.m. on a Friday. Not 4:15, not 4:30 to 4:17. The kind of time chosen by someone who Googled best time to fire people and landed on a WikiHow article written by a sociopath. Jane Nakamura walked into conference room B with the calm of someone who'd already updated her LinkedIn profile 3 times that week. Her coffee was still warm, her resignation letter already drafted in her notes app, and her backup plan had backup plans. Across the mahogany table that cost more than her annual raise, sat Director of Operations Patricia Winters, flanked by 2 HR representatives who looked like they'd practiced their sympathetic head tilts in a mirror. "Jane," Patricia said, smiling with all the warmth of a chatbot running on dial-up internet. "You've been such a valuable part of our content team. But as we embrace the future of content creation, some traditional roles, well, they transform." HR Specialist Number 1, whose name tag read Brad, jumped in with his laminated empathy script. "This is an automation-driven restructuring, not a reflection of your performance. The AI tools we've implemented can now handle the bulk of content production with remarkable efficiency." Patricia leaned back, clearly enjoying this. ChatGPT writes faster than you. Claude creates better strategy documents. And frankly, our new AI content pipeline produces more engaging copy at a fraction of the cost. It's just business. For words that changed everything. Not "thank you for your service." Not "we value your expertise." Just a casual declaration that silicon had officially replaced her soul. Jane stared for a moment, then slowly reached for her coffee cup. The ceramic was warm against her palms, real, tangible, human. Unlike the conversation happening around her. Quick sidebar, if you're one of the 94% watching this without hitting subscribe, you're missing the plot twist where the underdog becomes the final boss. That little red button funds our ability to turn corporate betrayal into career comebacks. Back to Jane. HR Brad slid the severance packet across the table like he was dealing cards in Vegas. Jane flipped through the pages, scanning the legalese that basically translated to "thanks for playing, here's your consolation prize." But her eyes stopped on page 7. The non-compete clause. 12 months. No content creation, no marketing consulting, no working with any company in their sphere of influence, which, according to the fine print, included basically every business that had ever heard of the internet. "Any questions?" Patricia chirped, already mentally composing her LinkedIn post about embracing change and leading digital transformation. Jane looked up, her expression unreadable. "Just one. Who's training the AI on your brand voice?" Patricia's smile flickered. "We have a junior content coordinator handling the prompts. Simple stuff, really. Just plug in the brief and let the magic happen." Jane nodded slowly. She'd built that brand voice. Every style guide, every tone document, every piece of strategic messaging architecture that made their content convert. They thought they could just prompt their way to her expertise. The meeting ended with the usual corporate theater. Firm handshakes, wishes for future success, and Patricia's parting shot, "I'm sure you'll land on your feet. Maybe find something in a field that values human creativity more." Jane walked back to her desk, logged in one final time, and began the most important work of her career. She opened a private document and started typing, "Project Phoenix, how to become the architect of your own replacement." But first, she had some research to do. The thing about revenge isn't that it's sweet, it's that it's systematic. Jane didn't storm out cursing AI and algorithmic overlords. She went home, poured herself a glass of wine, and opened her laptop with the focus of a surgeon preparing for the operation of her life. She pulled up every AI tool she'd ever heard of. ChatGPT, Claude, Jasper, Copy AI, WriteSonic, the whole ecosystem that had supposedly made her obsolete. But instead of seeing them as threats, she started seeing them as instruments in an orchestra that desperately needed a conductor. The first thing she discovered? Most people were using AI like a fancy typewriter. They'd dump in a basic prompt, take whatever generic output they got, and call it done. No strategy, no refinement, no understanding of how to actually leverage these tools for real business impact. Jane spent her first week of unemployment becoming fluent in prompt engineering. Not the surface-level stuff, the deep architecture of how to communicate with AI systems. She learned about context windows, token limits, system prompts, and conversation threading. She studied the psychology of human-AI collaboration, the art of iterative refinement, and the science of output optimization. By week 2, she wasn't just using AI, she was orchestrating it. She created a content production pipeline that could generate more strategic, targeted, and effective content in 2 hours than her old team produced in 2 weeks. But here's the kicker, it still needed human intelligence to work. Someone who understood brand psychology, market positioning, and audience dynamics. Someone who could ask the right questions, provide the right context, and shape the output into something that actually moved business metrics. Someone exactly like her. Jane started documenting everything. Every workflow, every prompt template, every optimization technique. She built a personal AI operations manual that read like a masterclass in leveraging artificial intelligence for exponential productivity gains. Then she started reaching out to her network. Not for job opportunities, for consulting projects. Her first client was a marketing agency drowning in client demands. They'd hired 3 junior writers to keep up with content volume, but the quality was inconsistent and the strategy was scattershot. Jane offered them a solution. She'd build them a custom AI content system that could match their senior-level output at 10x the speed. The project took her 2 weeks and paid more than her old monthly salary. Client 2 was a SaaS company burning through freelancers trying to maintain their content calendar. Jane created an AI workflow that understood their technical product, spoke to their specific audience segments, and maintained perfect brand consistency across every piece of content. That project paid double. By month 3, Jane wasn't just consulting on AI implementation, she was training entire marketing teams how to transform their operations. She developed a methodology she called AI amplification, using artificial intelligence not to replace human expertise, but to exponentially scale it. Her calendar was booked solid at $300 per hour. But Jane wasn't done. She remembered Patricia's smug declaration about AI taking over content creation, and she had one more card to play. She reached out to Patricia's assistant, not Patricia directly, that would be too obvious, and mentioned she'd noticed Meridian Heights, Jane's old company, was struggling with some content consistency issues based on their recent campaigns. The assistant, eager to solve problems and look good, arranged a consultation call with the leadership team. Jane joined the Zoom call from her home office, which now included a professional lighting setup and enough monitor space to run a NASA mission. She wore a crisp blazer and the kind of confident smile that comes from knowing you're about to solve a problem the other person didn't even know they had. "Thanks for making time," Patricia started, clearly not recognizing the irony. "We've been having some challenges with our AI content output. It's not quite hitting the mark we expected." Jane nodded thoughtfully. AI is incredibly powerful, but it's only as good as the human intelligence directing it. What specific issues are you seeing? "The content feels generic," admitted the new junior coordinator, a 22-year-old named Trevor who looked like he'd learned content strategy from TikTok. "And our conversion rates have dropped 34% since we made the switch." Also, Patricia added reluctantly, "Our brand voice seems inconsistent. Sometimes the AI sounds like us, sometimes it sounds like a Wikipedia article, and sometimes it sounds like it's trying to sell cryptocurrency." Jane pulled up a presentation she'd prepared. "I specialize in AI optimization for enterprise content operations. I can audit your current system and build you a framework that delivers the quality and consistency you need while maintaining the efficiency gains you're looking for." She showed them samples of work she'd done for other clients. Content that was clearly AI-assisted but strategically sophisticated, brand-aligned, and conversion-optimized. Content that looked exactly like what Meridian Heights used to produce when Jane was running their strategy. "How much?" Patricia asked, and Jane could see the recognition starting to dawn in her eyes. For a complete AI operations overhaul, including custom prompt libraries, brand voice training, and team training, $25,000 for the initial build, plus $5,000 monthly for optimization and maintenance. Dead silence. That was more than Jane's old annual salary, and Patricia knew it. But, Jane continued, her voice steady as steel, "I guarantee you'll see a 50% improvement in content performance within 60 days, or you get a full refund." The CFO leaned forward. "What kind of timeline are we looking at?" 6 weeks for full implementation. 2 weeks for initial results." After some hurried side conversations and muted deliberation, Patricia came back on screen. "We'd like to move forward." Jane nodded professionally. "Excellent. I'll send over the contract this afternoon." As she clicked Leave Meeting, Jane allowed herself one small smile. They'd replaced her with AI, and now they were paying her 3 times her old salary to fix what they'd broken. The real victory wasn't just the money though. It was the transformation. Jane had gone from being threatened by AI to becoming its master choreographer. She wasn't competing with artificial intelligence, she was conducting it like a symphony. 6 months later, Jane's consulting firm, Phoenix AI Solutions, had 12 enterprise clients and a waiting list 2 months long. She created a certification program for AI-assisted content operations that marketing professionals were paying $2,000 to complete. Her LinkedIn posts about AI strategy were getting 50,000 views and hundreds of comments from executives asking for her expertise. Patricia's company became one of her most successful case studies. Their content performance had improved 67% under Jane's AI optimization system, and they were recommending her services to their business partners. But Jane's favorite moment came when Trevor, the junior coordinator who'd replaced her, reached out for mentorship. He'd realized that managing AI content wasn't just about writing prompts, it was about understanding strategy, psychology, and the intricate dance between human creativity and machine capability. "I want to learn how to think about AI the way you do," he said during their first mentoring session. Jane smiled. "It's not about thinking about AI. It's about thinking with AI. There's a difference." She was building something bigger now. Not just a consulting business, but a new category of professional expertise. The AI human collaboration specialist. The prompt architect. The artificial intelligence strategist. The future hadn't replaced her, she designed it. Today, Jane runs workshops for Fortune 500 companies on AI transformation. She speaks at conferences about the evolution of human-AI collaboration. Her book, Conducting the Machine, A Human's Guide to AI Amplification, is being published next spring. And sometimes, late at night in her home office, she'll get an email from someone who just got laid off because AI took their job. She always responds the same way. AI didn't take your job. Someone who understands AI better than you took your job. But here's the good news, you can become that someone. The most dangerous employee isn't the one who fights the future. It's the one who builds it, masters it, and then teaches others how to navigate it. Jane didn't just survive the AI revolution, she became its architect. Thanks for reading, you beautiful career strategists. If this story inspired you to think differently about AI and opportunity, hit that subscribe button. Unless you're Patricia, in which case, well, you already know how this story ends. The future belongs to those who learn to dance with it.